Okay, so I am filming this in the future. I wanted to do a little intro because here is my finished jacket. I made this video when I started out, started working on this jacket, when I started like thrifting it, everything, and I wanted to document the process in case there were other people that were interested in making something like this. It was a labor of love. It took me about 2 months to complete. All of this is hand beaded. Flying out to LA in 2 days, then I'm going to go see Taylor Swift in 3 days. So I'm really excited. As you can see, we've got all of the colors of the earrings and it looks really cool. So I'll do like a reveal at the end, but hopefully this video is helpful if you're trying to make something similar, or if you were just curious how I made it. Hopefully you find this somewhat enjoyable. Okay, I finally found a jacket. I really wanted to thrift this jacket because I'm trying to keep like this project as low cost as I possibly can, because I'm already putting in like a ton of effort in this beadwork. I went to the men's section and found this one. It's like Old Navy. It's an extra large and it was $7. I wanted like an oversized jacket anyway, and this one is like really clean, and I obviously washed it, but like it's in good shape, no like holes or anything like that. So that's awesome. Let me show you what beads I got at Hobby Lobby. So these are the colors I got for the beads. So I got this like kind of limey green one for debut. I got gold, like it's a true gold, not a yellow, for Fearless. This lavender kind of color for Speak Now. Red, obviously. This is 1989, this kind of like aqua color. Black, pink, this kind of like cream color for Folklore. This kind of like bronzy color for Evermore. And then this kind of blue, dark blue for Midnights. See how long this is taking? I'm like glad I'm starting this now. There literally has to be a faster way for me to do this. I just don't know it yet. I'm scared I'm gonna like do some of these colors and people are gonna be like, that's not the color for Folklore. And then I'm gonna be like, crap, and have to go back to the store. And I don't wanna like string all of these and then the Swiftie community come after me and tell me that's not the right color. I know this is the color I want to use for Midnights, and like I know this is the color I want to use for Reputation, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and like do those because like I feel confident about those colors, and then maybe do like a poll on my Instagram. I just know there's probably got to be a more scientific, better way for me to figure out if this is like the right length, but I don't want to like sew it on and it not be the right length, because like otherwise I'm just gonna be taking off like 1 or 2 beads at a time, or like adding beads and just re-sewing it back on, and that's gonna be so annoying. So I put the jacket on, and I'm gonna be doing it like kind of along this seam and then along this back seam here. It would be like here on this length, and then I would have to make this one longer so that it's like consistent. So here, and then like over here it would be like this length. Is that too long? I don't know. We have made some progress. It's kind of funny, when I started this, I thought I got 1 tube of each of these colors, which is 85 grams of beads. I remember buying these and thinking, this is gonna be way too many beads. 1 tube, I thought, this is gonna be too much. I'm gonna use all the extras to make friendship bracelets. What was I thinking? I'm actually not going to need to get any more of the debut color. That one is done. Definitely feeling like I'm gonna have to get more, because these strands are so much longer that are on this middle part of the jacket on the back than the ones on the sleeves. I feel like I'm gonna be looking back on this and just be like, why did I do things the way that I did them? Because I haven't like permanently attached any of these colors to the jacket. They're all loosely in here. And the reason I did that was because I just wasn't sure about my spacing of each of the strings, and so I wanted to have the flexibility to be able to take it out and like rearrange it and stuff like that. And like, I'm pretty sure I've got the length of all these right, but like, because these beads have so much variability in size, I've been measuring them. So the ones on the sleeve are about 5 1/8 inches long, and the ones on the back are 6 inches and 3/8, I think. 6 3/8 inches, something like that. Once I get everything in place and I'm like happy with my spacing and like I think everything looks right, then I'm gonna go in and permanently knot it and glue it in. Okay, so basically what I do for each strand, and this doesn't matter whether it's the ombre or whatever, is I cut off a piece of string, like I'll make it about like 20 inches long or whatever, and then I'll fold it in half and I'll run a bead through. And that's kind of like my stopper bead. So we're threading both ends through the eye of the needle. Okay. And then what I do is then I just start beading. And I know like I need to get like some kind of tray or something. Went to a place in Charlotte that was like beading, like making your own bracelets and stuff like that. And they had these trays. So it was like really easy to like measure the length of your bracelet that you were making, and it was so easy to just like pick up beads, and I know that's what I need to get. But honestly, it's fine. And I'm gonna start it through. All right, and that's it. I actually really do like the ombre here. I think I made it like relatively gradual. I think it looks pretty good. The kind of like these bolder colors, it is a little bit more obvious. I spaced everything out, like measured everything out to make sure each like section was equal. And I made the ombre section, like I think it's like about 1.5 inches wide. And then each color block section is 3.5 inches wide. I have it written down somewhere, so I'll put the exact measurements and I'll show you guys my awful iPad drawing that I made with my math and everything. And so basically what I did is I kind of just like marked everything out so that way I could just kind of fill in the colors as I went. That kind of just in my head seemed like the easiest way to do it as far as like my spacing and making sure I was like making each section the correct width. We are making progress. I have just about done all the rows, so now what I'm going and doing is like double checking, quadruple checking, quintuple checking that my length is right on all these. So, and knotting them in, because I had kind of just like threaded them through just to like make sure my spacing was right and everything. Once I double check the length and everything, I'm knotting it in, and then what I'm doing is like knotting each line together to kind of get it doubly secure, because this, with it being like a denim jacket, like the thread is almost like slipping through even if it's knotted. So I'm finding that this is like the best way to get these strings secured, is to knot them on their own and then knot each line together. And then once I get everything in and knotted, then I'm going to go in with some glue later on. So you can see I've already knotted, so each line, because I'm like, it comes out with like the 2 strings, I go through, knot it, and then I'm taking one string from the string next to it and knotting those together, and then I'll do it on the other side as well. I find that I'm not so good at this in the morning after I've had my first cup of coffee. It's kind of like just shaky hand central over here. Losing beads at the Eras tour would be so embarrassing. So we're just gonna make sure this is like hella secure, and so we don't have any bead mishaps. This is quite the time-consuming thing. I'm actually kind of enjoying it. It's like I do this not during every single one of Theo's naps, but like if I've gotten stuff done for the most part, or I just kind of need like a brain break, I'll just come work on the jacket. So you can see now that's a lot more secure. It's not going to be able to be pulled down as much. Guess what? It's done! Yay! Well, pretty much. So like I showed you, everything is stitched in, knotted in, and then like knotted together. So let me show you. I was like gonna do one last check to make sure it looks good on. And then I'm going to go in with glue, like super nasty, fumey, strong glue. I mean, you can kind of see how like the seam on the sleeves, it drops a little bit. And so what I had done is I had like done it up to here and then like started a line here. And when my arm was down like this, it looked fine. Like it looked really good. The drop was like gradual, whatever. And then when I lifted up my arm, there was like this gap. And so I went in and like filled in a few, like probably like 3 strands right here where the seam drops, so that when my arms are up, there's not like a weird gap. When my arms are down, it does look like a little bit like clumpy a little bit, but I don't think it looks bad necessarily. It looks so sick. Ah! You can tell like in some places the strings are starting to kind of like drop a little bit, so I'm gonna be like really careful with it and just go glue it. Like even though they're kind of like dropping a little bit, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere because they're all knotted together. I'll like kind of like pull it in and then glue it down just so it's like all even and stuff like that. But doesn't it look so cool? I'm so excited. Okay, so this is the glue that I'm using. I've seen like some other people who are like doing jackets that are like bedazzling them or whatever recommend this glue. It's got like vapors or something like that, so it's recommended to use it outside. Okay, everything is in here secured, the glue, so I'm gonna let it like sit outside for a while. Dun da da da, drum roll. As you can see, everything has been glued in. All the strings have been trimmed up. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really, really cool. It's definitely not perfect, as you can see. There are some strings that do fall a little bit. However, I am very, very confident that they're secure. I'm not worried about these going anywhere. I'm really not. And you really can't tell that they've dropped like based on the length from a distance. It's really only when you get up close. I am really, really proud of the work that I put into it. I'm really mostly just happy to be done with this thing. And I'm just so excited to go see Taylor Swift in 3 days. August 3rd. I'm so excited. I have the rest of my outfit ready. It feels like such a relief to have this done. And we are flying out in just a couple of days. But I really think it turned out good. This thing feels heavy. It's going to be so much fun to dance in. And it looks really cute with the rest of my outfit. So you will just have to stay tuned, go on my Instagram. I'll probably post like a short or something like that up here on YouTube with my full outfit. If you made it to the end, thank you for following along. I just wanted to share like a few like lessons learned and things like that. Like if you're trying to replicate something similar, whether it's for the Eras tour or like for a bachelorette or something like that. Or if you just like the look of it and you want to do like your own colors, I wanted to give like some tips, I guess. Beads that I used, 6.0 glass seed beads, and these are ones that I got from Hobby Lobby. I really do not recommend these beads. It was kind of one of those things that once I was too far in, I had threaded too much that I was like, I should have chosen higher quality beads. The reason for that is I did have a few like left over, and I made friendship bracelets with some of them with my nieces who I'm going to the concert with. And especially these gold beads, they are coated, and for this purpose it may not be a big deal. However, for bracelets and stuff like that, this coating will wear off. So I have like a bracelet that I made with my son's name on it that has the gold beads, and the gold is completely gone after a few wears. So if you're making a jacket that you plan to wear multiple times or whatever, I really don't recommend these beads because especially the coated ones seem to lose the color. They also just were not like very consistent, especially the blue color I used for 1989. I would say like probably every 5 beads didn't even have a hole in them for me to thread through. So they were just like really inconsistent, like not very good quality. Another thing is I use like really kind of just like regular thread that you would use for sewing, and I really don't recommend that. If I could go back, I would use maybe like still a thread, but because you wanted to have some movement, but I would use like a thicker thread. I think that would probably hold up a little bit better. As you can see, like there is like a little bit of the strings that kind of fall a little bit. They're glued in, they're knotted together. So it's more so just like a fault on my part that I didn't pull them in enough when I was gluing them down. So it is what it is though. I think it looks really, really good though. It looks really cool. It looks really unique. What else is kind of a jacket like this? There's to it. I'm just really excited to go. Let's give a final stats though. So it was 266 hand beaded strands. Crazy. And it did take me about 2 months to do. Total cost though, I used 15 tubes of beads. They were $1.99 each, so that's $30. I paid $7 for this jacket that I thrifted. Glue was $3 at Hobby Lobby. The string I technically already had, so that comes out to $40. So I'd say not bad for like a pretty cool custom jacket. $40. Sure, I spent so much time in labor, but I'm happy to be done with it. But it was kind of fun to do. It was a nice like little Theo nap time activity that I just kind of got to listen to podcasts and just kind of got to like mindlessly work on this. If you guys are trying to do something similar and you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment. I'll try to answer it best I can. I know I was looking back on some of that footage and I was like, I really could have done a better job of getting this in frame and like explaining this. So if you need a better explanation on something, just let me know. I'm also going to post a blog post with like more specific details and linking all of the beads and stuff like that. So if you are trying to do something similar for whatever occasion it is, hopefully you'll find it beneficial. But if you're not trying to recreate this, hopefully you found it entertaining, hopefully you found it interesting. But thanks for sticking around. And if you'll be at the August 3rd Eras tour date and you see me, come say hi.